Still chapter 1. So as the young little boy of 11 years old walked into the school, as Jeff walked into the school, he looked around. Wasn't anything he was used to. No friends, nobody he's ever recognized. Scared to death. His aunt was a very dramatic, negative person who, because he was just a boy who had a tendency of getting in trouble, had no belief in him, had no care. To her, he was just an annoyance on the family, a burden on the family, and somebody that would not amount to anything. She didn't understand what he was going through because she herself could not figure out why her sister died just months before. You see, 11 years before, young Jeff was adopted at birth. He was adopted into a loving family with a mom and a dad and a big sister who was adopted also herself just 2 years before. They only knew how to show love, and the mom, he was a mama's boy, whether we liked to admit it or not. But he loved to play, he loved to be rambunctious. His adventurous side was unlike most boys his age. He was very high-strung, very hyper. He loved his grandparents. He loved everybody in his family. He always looked forward to seeing everybody. But at 11 years old, that's the way kids were those days. It wasn't until 1990, it wasn't until that his mom got cancer. And within 3 months of her getting cancer, he didn't know it, but his life was going to set out on a journey that he himself would not understand for decades. You see, in a quiet town where he grew up and where he lived, everybody started in the same grade. They started out as neighbors and friends. Neighborhoods all went to the same churches. They went to the same picnics. They went everywhere. It was a farm family. A family that knew nothing but love and sharing. One side of the family, the father side, was a strong farm family that believed in God and love. The other side was city. They believed they had owned their own businesses, and they believed in a strong work ethic, and they all went to the same church. It's funny, as we write this, his dad's story, it would be a love story with his wife. But this story's not about that. This story's about overcoming odds, being told over and over you'll never amount to anything, just to discover that the very trials that were set up at 11 will be the same reasoning of success later on. So here you have a young man going into a school he does not know. People that don't care about him, that don't know him. With an aunt that was so wrapped up in her own personal grudges, her own personal self-awareness, that she could never see Jeff as anything other than a dumb little boy, a hyperactive who wouldn't listen. What she didn't realize is that's what all little boys do. As they came into the school, Jeff was thinking back of the many years he spent with all of his school kids and all of his friends and family. Pause.